A 6.1 magnitude earthquake rocked the San Francisco Bay Area. The quake's epicenter only 6 miles south of Napa, makes it 51 miles from Sacramento. But according to the U.S. Geological Survey, this is the largest quake to hit the Bay Area since the Loma Prieta earthquake back in 1989. What you're looking at here are some of the pictures our viewers have been sending in to us of what they're dealing with after this quake today. Now, let's put this into perspective. That Loma Prieta quake had a magnitude of 6.9. This morning's a 6.1. Still very early out there, 5:33. So far, no immediate reports of injuries, but the USGS's estimates more than 100,000 people experienced, quote, very strong shaking. CNN meteorologist Jennifer Gray, you've been talking to some people in the Bay Area already this morning. What are they telling you?
Yeah, I've seen just some reports from former co-workers who are saying that some of the buildings in the downtown area of Napa, total loss. Just as you've seen, also the buildings on houses on fire. We've also seen, the water mains busted. It's just been a mess across a lot of these neighborhoods. We're seeing pictures right there. There's one of those homes on fire. And so a lot of cleanup going on. These brick buildings, a lot of these older buildings in some of these downtown areas, structural damage. A lot of these stores, as you're seeing there inside, you can see wine bottles just completely broken on the floor, just total disaster inside, not only in these stores, but people's homes. Very similar scenes like you're seeing there, things off the shelves in people's kitchens or living rooms, just seeing very messy situation. Of course, like you said, over 100,000 people felt very, very strong shaking, with this being the strongest earthquake felt in about 25 years. So yeah, a lot of people waking up this morning very, very scared. So break it down for you. Of course, 3:20 this morning, magnitude of 6.1. The depth was 6.7 miles, 6 miles southwest of Napa. No tsunami watches or warnings were ever issued, which is good news there. And when you break it down, the magnitude and class being a 6.1, that is considered a strong earthquake. And so, Christy, a lot more will be assessed. The sun comes up still very early over on the West Coast.
Fox News alert: a 6.0 magnitude earthquake in California happening overnight about 3:20 local time. Claudia Cowan is live for us this morning. She's in Napa. Good morning. You're inside that grocery store. Tell us exactly what you're seeing.
Oh, just a complete scene of devastation, Anna. This earthquake struck and woke up everybody in the area around Northern California at about 3:20, measured about a 6.0, and now we are seeing some of the significant damage here around Napa, about 7 miles from the epicenter in American Canyon. And I'm talking with Eric Housley, who's the owner here of the Ranch Market. And as we take a look at this damage, Eric, I'm guessing many tens of thousands of dollars of damage.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Between my two stores, we're looking nearly 100.
But no injuries. And we have heard no reports of any injuries.
So far, none.
What did the earthquake feel like to you?
It was a big jolt, like a boom, and then everything was just shaking pretty profusely. Jumped out of bed, and, to make sure everything was okay. And then immediately, by the time you're kind of up and realizing what's happening, it's time to go to work and figure out what went wrong.
Yeah, but you knew there was going to be damage.
Oh, yeah.
And you have two stores, another one a few miles away up in Yountville, and probably significant damage there as well.
Oh, it's as bad almost up there, so.
And as we look around here, you have workers that have come in. It's just about 5:45 here in California. People coming in to help clean up, but obviously this store is going to be closed for some time. And we're also getting significant reports of other damage, Anna. We're hearing about road closures and gas main leaks, possible fires in this area as well. So crews are going to be busy throughout the day, obviously cleanup crews, road crews, checking the understructure of freeways and overpasses. losses. No reports of any damage on the major bridges in the Bay Area. Remember, back after the Loma Prieta quake in 1989, there was a major effort to retrofit bridges and buildings, especially in downtown San Francisco and some of the other big cities. And we're hearing so far that all those efforts certainly paid off. But at stores like this one, just very significant damage and a big cleanup job ahead for so many people in this area.
A strong earthquake rocked the San Francisco Bay Area very early this morning. Here's what we've learned so far. The 6.0 magnitude quake, it hit about 6 hours ago, or a little less than 6 hours ago, at 3:20 a.m. local time. That's the Pacific time zone. And it jolted people from their beds, woke them up. This was centered about 6 miles from Napa, California, and about 51 miles from Sacramento. Now, several fires broke out right after it hit. There are also reports of damaged buildings, ruptured gas lines, water mains. Even historic buildings have damage, like the Napa County Courthouse. There are several damaged homes as well, including 4 mobile homes we've learned are just destroyed. Napa officials say rescue teams are being deployed. It's an all hands on deck kind of situation there. Some people were reportedly trapped in their homes. At least 87 people have been taken to the hospital. Most, we're told, have just minor injuries, but we are hearing of at least 3 major injuries. I want you to listen to the quake as it was captured on a family's in-home security system. Watch this. So you saw stuff just flying off the walls, off the shelves, a child running up the stairs. This earthquake also cracked some roads, as you can see. Several roads buckled, knocked out power to at least 15,000 people. Up to 100,000 people have reportedly been without power this morning, and there have been about 50 gas main breaks, 30 water main leaks. This is the strongest earthquake to hit this area since 1989. Now, the White House says President Obama has been briefed on this quake. Federal officials are in touch with state and local responders. Napa City officials are planning to hold a news conference in about an hour at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we hope to bring that to you live. Let's get some more details on those injured. We told you 87 people were taken to the hospital. I'm joined now by Vanessa Daguerre. She's the spokeswoman for Queen of the Valley Hospital. Vanessa, we know this is a busy time for you. Thanks for stopping for just a moment to talk with us. What can you tell us about those injuries? What are you seeing?
I can tell you that at this time we've triaged and treated 89 patients through the emergency department. The majority of the patients have non-life-threatening injuries, but we did have a few more serious cases, and one pediatric patient who is going to be airlifted for further treatment.
And those injuries, you said non-life-threatening, but can you describe, are they cuts, bruises, broken bones?
Correct, and multiple lacerations and abrasions, so some deep cuts, bruises, bumps are the majority of the injuries that we're seeing.
We heard there are at least 3 major injuries. What qualifies as a major injury?
Well, a more serious injury, a patient in a critical condition, for instance, we do have one patient with multiple fractures who we're treating in the hospital.
Welcome back to Fox and Friends this morning. Take a look at these images. We're just getting into our Fox newsroom. A 6.0 earthquake rocking Northern California. Still gathering details about exactly what has been damaged. The epicenter, though, was about 6 miles southwest of Napa Valley. More than 15,000 people already without power, although on other reports coming in, it may be much greater than that. There are fires in the area and reports of multiple homes on fire and in mobile home parks as we've been hearing. One mobile home park may be ablaze at this hour as well.
Well, this quake, the largest in the area since 1989, when a 6.9 magnitude rocked that same area.
And characterized as strong, shallow, and dangerous, felt in the South Bay and Davis areas as well. Jennifer Jones-Lee lives in American Canyon, just south of Napa, and she joins us live on the phone. Jennifer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it was
Go
quite
ahead.
a feeling this morning. But we were asleep and had just come from a wedding and last night, so everybody was up late. And I mean, if you had told me a freight train just drove through my house, that's how it felt. It felt like it's that same feeling of when you're driving over a gravel road and that just bumping that you just constantly feel. This wasn't like the normal swaying earthquake that I've been through before. This was just, it shook. It was just a shaking that I hadn't felt before.
Just looking through images, Jennifer, coming in right now on Twitter, and people who are standing in downtown Napa Valley, just buildings in total destruction. We're seeing some images here on our screen right now of rubble, people standing amidst rubble, areas cordoned off with police tape as one building is standing next to one that's not. What kind of damage have you been able to see in your area this morning?
Well, we're fortunate because Napa being a much older community, the infrastructure there, I'm sure, is a lot worse. Here in American Canyon, it was a city built in the 50s and 60s. Our home was built in 2003, so the structures are a lot more sturdy and, have the earthquake in mind, that kind of thing. But as far as I went across the street to the Safeway, it's a mess. Everything has fallen off the shelves inside. They've got crews in there trying to clean it up. We're hearing reports of fires at a mobile home park in Napa. And we just had another aftershock here not even 5 minutes ago. Our dog started going crazy. My husband and my grandmother were in the house. They felt it. I was standing outside. I didn't feel it, but I guess it was around 2.5 or something like that.
Jennifer Jones-Lee, we're going to come back to you later in the show. Thank you for being with us here.
Good morning to you at 8:01. I'm May Fasai, woken up by this earthquake this morning as well. Edie Lambert and Eileen Javora join us this morning. Edie, thanks for being here with us. No doubt you were woken up as well by this earthquake that hit at 3:20 this morning. 6.0, pretty significant for us.
We are still assessing all of the damage. You can see on the map exactly where this hit. This is south of Napa, but felt across a very wide region. People as far south as Santa Cruz reported feeling the shaking. In the Sacramento area, people in Orangevale reported feeling this earthquake at 3:20 this morning. Again, a 6.0 magnitude quake, considered a major earthquake. We do know that 89 people have been treated for injuries at Queen of the Valley Hospital in Napa. 2 of those injuries considered major, and we're still getting reports of all of the damage. Gas lines broken, 30 water mains now leaking, although we can tell you that water is considered safe. You can see video there of a utility crew as they're assessing the damage. Damage to buildings, and in fact, May, we're still getting reports of aftershocks right now, so people are afraid that there could be structural problems. They need to get out. There is an evacuation center set up right now by the Red Cross at Napa High School.
A lot of people evacuating, not necessarily because of injuries that they sustained, because they're simply saying, especially in Napa, their homes are not livable for them at this point. We're seeing here some of the structural damage as well as some of the other fires that have been reported in the area. We want to get to a major fire right now being reported at a mobile home park. That's where we find KCRA 3's Mallory Hoff. Mallory, we're hearing so far 12 mobile homes have been damaged, 4 completely destroyed.
That's right, 4 are destroyed. They were right behind me. If you take a look here, you can see this home, smoke rising into the air as a number of hot spots continue to burn. What we're being told is that the fire actually started back here in this area and then quickly spread in this direction. I actually spoke to a woman who lives in one of these homes. She said she felt the earth shake beneath her, and then very quickly she heard a variety of popping noises, what sounded like explosions. Then the smell of gas filled the air very quickly. She said she ran from her home so fast. In fact, she only had her robe on at that point. She said she didn't even have time to grab her purse. She just very, very quickly ran outside. Right now, she's saying that she's thankful that she moved as quickly as she did. But like so many of her neighbors, she has lost everything she owns in this fire. You can see her home continues to smoke right now. A lot of people in the area saying all of this happened so quickly. They're still trying to come to terms with it and understand it, if you will. A number of fire crews still in this area. What they've said to us is that the greatest challenge that they faced here was struggling to get water on this fire. They did have to bring in a number of water tenders. They are sitting nearby in this area. But you can see just how hot this fire was. If you actually look at this mobile home that is just sitting right next door, you can see it just melted, just significant damage in this area. Right now, dozens of people around here just walking around, looking around, trying to assess the damage. You can see these waste bins just melted there from this significantly hot fire. Again, 4 homes behind me burned and significant damage to other homes in this area. People still trying to assess the damage, just how significant the loss is. But as you can see behind me, some people lost everything they own. Live in Napa, Mallory Hoff, KCRA 3 News.